Hey creative people, today I'm just setting up for a shoot for a popular chain restaurant. So the client today has not specified an exact shot list, so that kind of does two things. One, it gives me more creative leeway for the shots that I get, but they did give me a threshold of the minimum amount of photos they want, around 100, and I'm doing 2 locations today. I'm doing both in one day. So they didn't give me an exact shot list, but that's okay because it gives me more freedom. Among that is the freedom to get shots that they normally wouldn't request and hopefully provide more value to the client. Now I'm gonna move on to just some stills on the outside and then we'll go inside. I don't know how much I'll show there, but go from there.
Yes. What can I get for you? Just be home, 84 cents. All right, guys, what can we get for you?
All right, we are wrapping up for the first location and we'll go to the next one. It's about 1 o'clock. We got all the shots we need and we'll keep moving. All right, we're at the next location for today. Oh, we need to calibrate. I wanted to talk about a couple things in relation to preparing yourself for the shoot. As I'm driving to the location, I think about what I can do for the client at that location. Instead of thinking about something I'm gonna do a couple days from now or what I'm going to do when I get back or whatnot, I'm thinking about how I can best serve the client. So one of the ways that I can do that is to think about that specific location. For instance, this shoot is a kind of a mixture of lifestyle and architectural. I think about the location, the lighting, the time of day. I specifically chose this location instead of the other one for later in the day because of the direction of the front of the restaurant. So when I take those shots, the light is hitting it in a pleasing way. So I need to think about those things as I travel, and that will mentally prepare me for shooting whatever I'm shooting. So think about the information that you prepared beforehand, whether that's you're looking at Google Maps to see the direction of the building, or you're looking at maybe examples the client sent of what they like. All those things I'm thinking about as I'm traveling to the location so I can be best prepared to serve the client. Now on this shoot, as I said, I'm shooting 2 different locations in the same day. So I can use that to my advantage by thinking about what I shot on the first location and how I can improve that on the second location. And obviously they're different layout, different building, but I can use those things that I learned to better the photographs in the second location. Another thing I want to talk about is organization. You have to prepare before your shoot. And actually, I'm gonna put a free download in the description for a pre-shoot checklist. It's nothing special, it's just what I use that helps me prepare before every shoot. A lot of the times, I'll print that out and then I'll check each one off as I actually have them loaded into the vehicle or I've made sure they're good to go. I just print it out because it's easier that way. Make sure all your gear is good to go, and I mean everything, whether that's a new piece of equipment that you've purchased, make sure it works. I'll give you an example. I purchased a macro focusing rail so I can stack images on a very detailed product, so I needed that rail. Anyways, I didn't check to make sure that my plates worked with it, and the plates were too big, so I had to my assistant and I had to drive to a local fleet farm and buy a Dremel tool to grind down one of the plates to fit into the rail. So my point is, make sure everything is good to go, especially new equipment. Don't assume that it's going to work 100% of the time. So what I do with my batteries and my cards, I have to make sure those are good. Charge those batteries, every kind of battery. An assistant doesn't just help you with things, moving things and whatnot. They can help you focus more on the creative process. Instead of you setting up C-stands and strobes and moving this and that, whatever, you can be more focused on the creative process and what the client is requiring you to do. And that'll make things a lot better. So if the budget affords an assistant, make sure you have one, because yes, even though you're paying them, it will help you tremendously, and make sure they know that. Verbalize it. Make sure that they know that they are appreciated. Now, of course, on this shoot today, I don't have an assistant. He wasn't available, but I'm making the most of it, so we'll keep moving. All right. You'll have to forgive the audio and video quality. I'm just literally running and gunning with this. Everything that I do should be to add value for the client. And if I remember that, I can produce better and better quality content. If I'm constantly focused on my gear or the next new thing or whatnot, I'm not gonna get ahead in my creative process, and I'm gonna be stuck. So for me, it's very important that I remember it's about the client. It's about the client. It's about the client. All right, it's later in the day. It's about 5 o'clock. The dinner rush is about to start, so I'm gonna go back in. I was just out getting some nice golden hour photos with the drone. And so yeah, I'm gonna go back in, take some dinner rush hour photos, and we'll wrap it up. Okay, so this was weird. I go back in the restaurant to take more photos, and one of the employees comes up to me and he says, this guy over here wants a photo of himself. Okay, so I go over there and I ask him, so what can I help you with, basically? And he says, where do I need to be in order to be in a photo? And I'm thinking, I'm not sure what you mean. And I said, I'm about to wrap up here and take some more photos. I'm going to be done here. And he says, well, if I'm going to be in a photo, where should I be? And at this point, I'm pretty confused because, he's just a customer there. And so I didn't really know what he meant. I learned from that because I want to avoid any sort of issue with that customer and not take photos of, I don't know, it just seemed like he wanted to be in the photos for some other reason than, I don't know. So just be careful of that. Kind of stick to your plan. Don't be afraid to say no. That's what I learned. So I had about 5 minutes to come out here and just share with you guys. There's things like that you need to be careful of, I guess, if that makes any sense. I'm going to go back in, take those photos, and we'll wrap up. All right, guys, it's getting dark. We got both locations shot. I'm happy with the images, and I hope the client will be as well. In fact, I hope they're more than satisfied. That's my goal, and I hope you guys enjoyed this day in the life of a photographer. Wow, I'm getting tired. If you want to see more of this type of stuff, subscribe, or don't subscribe. Just go to my channel and look at more content. But anyways, we'll see you guys in the next one.